English has acquired relevance in the past few years. For this same reason, educators have begun to teach English in all levels, starting with children. In this video, we're going to talk about what is mainly known as teaching English for young learners. So, if you're interested in learning more of it, keep watching. TEYL is present all over the world. That is a fact. It exists this tendency where the sooner you start learning English, the better you will be. As a result, in many countries, children are starting to learn English at younger ages. This is evident due to a survey made for EYL teachers from 55 countries in which Shin and Carndall 2011 found that more than 50% of those countries are starting to introduce compulsory English courses by third grade. And even families, when they are asked which languages they want their children to learn, their first choice is always English. Talking a little bit more about our context, that is Mexico, it was in 1992 where Mexico started to run English programs. Though we can say primary schools started to have English in 1992, the truth is that it wasn't until 2009 when English became to be a mandatory subject through el Programa Nacional de Inglés. However, according to Luna y Magus 2022, English programs in Mexico have been kind of a mess. That means that they haven't given any positive results. For instance, a study made by Mexicanos Primero highlighted that any of the English teaching programs in public education has achieved their goal. Furthermore, the teachers designated for the students have shown a lack of preparation, which of course is not beneficial at all for the students. Specifically, if we're talking about teaching children, we know it's quite different. Let's learn more about the characteristics of a young learner. Number 1. Children are energetic and active. We need to remember that one of our goals as English teachers is to know how to use children's natural tendency to be physically active. Do not get frustrated if the children is not able to stay still. Because remember, they are children, that's their natural behavior. You need to keep them active. That's why an excellent technique to use with children is TPR, also known as Total Physical Response, that is, movements while learning language. Number 2. Children are likely to participate and speak out. They are kids, they won't be embarrassed to participate and to actively answer during the class. So, take advantage of that. Take advantage of their willingness to participate. Why? Because teenagers will never do that. Children will do. If they have the opportunity to speak, they will take it. So, you can help them with that. And you can make them enhance their communicative competence, which is something we are interested in developing with our students. Number 3. Kids are curious and receptive when learning new things. Existing is already a new thing for children. So obviously they want to learn anything that is surrounding them. So don't you think that one of our roles as teachers is to exploit that curiosity? Number 4. Kids have imagination. If you design an activity where they encourage their imagination, they will 100% love it. In general, it has been said that children like to be physically active and they are spontaneous. However, this is linked to the next aspect. Number 5. Young learners can get easily distracted and have short attention spans. That is why we need to implement fun and engaging activities that increases their imagination and curiosity. I'll give you a pro tip. If you also take into account their interests, it will be even better. Number 6. Young learners need support and scaffolding by the teacher. Young learners perceive their teachers as the main authority of the classroom. This means that they will construct their knowledge through other people, specifically more competent people. So, as you can see, The adult's role is very important for the learning process of a kid. Of course, if the student is younger, the teacher needs to scaffold more. And number 7, children learn by doing and interacting with their environment. Consider the following: I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. This applies a lot with young learners. Consider that children will comprehend more what you're saying if they get to interact with what they are learning. That is their learning environment. That is better for them.
Now we're going to check some tips for teaching to young learners. First, we have some songs and also dancing, which you can include in your classes. You can do this through many ways. It could be to review some vocabulary, to start the class. You can do it at any time. Maybe you can also do it to say goodbye or to clean up. A song or a dance, it's a good option to catch their attention. We can see one example in here.
Hello, 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 how are you? Hello, 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 how are you? I'm good. I'm great.
To finish off this section of activities, we have role plays, which includes acting out maybe action or a specific setting. Now, in the explanations part, well, this may be one of the hardest parts because it's difficult to get students' attention for a long period of time, but we have some resources that can help us as teachers. In the following example, we will see how the teacher uses pictures or images to explain the word of the or the concept that we are trying to learn with the students.
How are you feeling today? Are you feeling happy or surprised or scared or worried or sad?
Sad teacher.
Sad.
Another tool that we can use are stories, teaching the elements or the structures through a story. Maybe use some puppets or little animals to like get the students' attention, but it's a very good option. And also we have Realia. I think Realia is one of my favorites because it's very clear. We're going to watch another example of the teacher using Realia. This one is about clothes. And well, for little children, it's easier to understand something while watching like the real object. And well, we can drill. Maybe drilling is a good tool too. You can drill the words to practice pronunciation while you're doing this activity. And also, I don't know, like watching the object in real life makes them more like focused.
This is a hat.
Also, always remember to personalize knowledge. This is one of the best strategies because they feel like what we are learning is useful for them. So it's always a good idea. You can do this with using their names, also adding some of their interests. We can use many cartoons or characters that are popular to increase like this engagement. Now for the general course of the class, we have another tips for you. First is divide activities into small steps. Some children might find difficult to do very long activities, so we can make it short, like doing some part, then another part, another part, and another part. And with that, we have the full product, but without going a very long time period without explaining Also, remember to apply many activities. Children, as we have seen, have very low attention spans. So, include many activities, many games in your, well, in your lesson plans, in your sequences, and that will help a lot. And we also have another two very good ideas for this. Set routines. Setting routines is very important. It gives students the sense of having security, knowing what is going to happen in class. One way of doing this is at the start of the class. You can, for example, well, as we have seen, use a song to start class, a hello song. You can dance, you can like say hi to others, but also you can check the date. Telling the date is a very good tool because, well, they know what's going to happen, they know the date, and also, they can write it on their notebooks. Additionally, for in some schools, like in the example we're going to watch in some seconds, well, they have a helper. The role of the helper is usually to help the teacher give like the books to other students, maybe like clean the board, and they also like feel like it's a very good desirable position. So you can do that at the beginning of the class like this.
What is today's date?
December
Nice, December. What day of December?
4th.
Very good.
When children are very noisy or aren't paying attention, you can use an attention grabber, just like this.
Eyes on me. Eyes on you.
Time, but I wanted to close off this session by reminding you that being a teacher is an everyday task and we are always learning. So if you want to be a better teacher, you can follow some of these tips or remember the information given at the beginning to be a better teacher. And if you want to know more, don't forget to always investigate. You can search for more information about any of these topics that will help you to be better. Thank you for watching.